Donna Kretsch is with us today, getting us motivated for the week. Last time we talked a little bit, I'm still kind of amazed by this stat you told me about. Okay, a domino can knock over another domino that's 50%
50% bigger.
50% bigger. We're taking that. A lot of people, though, are still afraid to flick that first domino, aren't they?
Or something comes against
Yeah.
them, right? And that is fascinating, right? I mean, I love talking about it because it gets me jazzed to
Right.
go pick the right one thing. Because again, 50% bigger, right? That's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we really focus on that one? Now, we talked a couple weeks ago about it's got to be your goal.
Sure.
If it's not your goal, you're really not going to move on it, right?
Yeah.
If it's not something you really want. But then we talk about this domino effect. I talked about the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's worth getting, it's worth reading, it's an easy read. There's another one that's an even easier read that's called Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield.
Okay.
Turning Pro. And he talks about what holds us back. And he says it's only one thing, it's resistance. But we don't realize what resistance is. So again, at donnakretsch.com, I'm going to make my own notes available.
You're going to dumb this
talk
down for us,
about
basically, right?
I'm
Yeah.
working on it,
Yeah.
Jeff. I'm working on it. So you have to think about how has resistance manifested in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you think about resistance, you can kind of picture pushing a boulder uphill, right? We can all get that visual. But what I want folks to think about is a circumstance out here, outside of them, that could be resistance, but also picture that big thought blurb, okay, and the thoughts that could be resistance. Because anything showing up that keeps us from flicking that domino, from moving on that one goal, is resistance. Could be a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things.
Sure.
Could be thoughts, could be grief, could be blame or anger, could be people saying that we can't, or us saying we can't, could be poor sleep, could be too much TV, could be too much exercise, actually, focus and
Yeah.
exercise excessively, could be watching every single game, could be having to keep up with the news, could be volunteer work, could be too much social media, self-doubt, could even be vague direction. I mean, addiction, illness,
Yeah.
like virtually anything.
From one small thing to something huge.
We
could
have
be,
to think about why we haven't. And again, honest brain dump answer. Why haven't we? We've all got the answer. It
Yeah.
may not be something we want to talk about, but why haven't we? And it's always out here, a circumstance that you believe is beyond your control, right? Something coming in at you, or it's here. And I guess I'll even say here because
Sure.
grief is a resistance, fear is a resistance, self-doubt is a resistance, but looking at what's going on that's keeping me from doing this, just getting rock gut honest with yourself. Usually one main thing is that go-to that you
Yeah.
fall back to. Some weeks ago we talked about the excuse inventory,
Yep.
right? So it's that one thing you fall back to. That's what keeps this from getting flicked. And I mean, I'm telling you, if we just overcome that thing, and not even for a lifetime, one day at a time,
Yeah.
you'll flick that domino, and the Empire State Building couldn't go down. I hope not.
Isn't that something? I'm going to buy a bunch of dominoes and test this theory out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Don. Doug, we'll be back after this.